Hello, I'm Karen Algersma, and we are going to introduce you to a brand new production titled 17 Stories. And you're watching Go Island on ShawTV. On today's show, Paul Ballstein meets a guy who turns slabs of metal into extraordinary art. And Dan meets an artist who takes a leap of faith to live out her dream. All that and much more on Go Island. Hello, thank you so much for joining us on Go Island. What a special show we have for you today. Because as I stand next to the producer and director of 17 Stories, this wonderful magical journey that takes you through 17 different stories. How many actors do you have in this?
We have 5 remarkable actors that portray over 30 characters in the play in 90 minutes.
But this is not just a wonderful, engaging production, which it is. This is an opportunity for healing, for conversation, for thinking differently about death and dying. Tell us the vision behind this production.
Oh, I've wanted to do this show for such a long time, Karen. It was, I think this one has been brewing in me for over 20 years. I felt it was time to bring loss out of the closet, to make it part of life. That's actually our subtitle, Moving Loss into Life. And I twisted the arm of an ex-playwright in residence and said, you need to write this play. She foolishly said yes. And spent the next 6 months writing the most difficult script of her life. We actually interviewed 17 people, and they graciously and generously shared their unique stories of loss.
And we're going to tell you a little bit more about this production and how it is for everybody of all ages and all circumstances, because it's a fantastic opportunity to see some great theater and really have something touch you big in a big way. But first, there's a guy in the Cowichan Valley who likes heavy metal. Actually, he likes all kinds of metal. Paul Ballstein with that story. Why was it so important to you to bring death, dying, loss, all of that out of the closet and into this conversation called theater?
Well, Karen, I'm old enough to have experienced more than my share of losses. And I learned over the years that people don't know how to handle it. They don't know how to handle not only the loss of a loved one in themselves or somebody else, but a loss of career, a change in health, a whatever, euthanizing a pet. And I learned how many of my friends couldn't deal with it when I went through losses. So I thought it's time to create a new language around this and show the way a few people took their loss and incorporated it into their lives, or didn't incorporate it, as the case may be. Some of the scenes are a bit funny. We've used humor, of course, to make the point. That's the beauty of applied theater. And some of them are very heart-wrenching.
Do you know how many missing posters I put up?
Thousands.
Do you know how long I worked with my MP and the Missing Children Society to get a national DNA registry?
Years.
Do you know how much media I've gotten for her?
Various news channels, Chatelaine, Reader's Digest, the Herald, Post, Globe, Sun, W5. This year you got the government to give $8.1 million to fund a DNA registry.
Do you know what saudade is?
No.
Saudade is a Portuguese word.
Meaning?
A profound longing for an absent someone one loves, knowing that person may never return and whose whereabouts are unknown. It's the love that remains.
I can hear you. You have a question for me, don't you? Where can you see this play and how can you get tickets? If people want to see the play themselves, because you only got a little glimpse of it, where can they see it?
Well, there are so many people that have asked me since they missed the first 3 shows. The show was designed, by the way, to be a fundraiser for any organization that wanted it. We provided the play free and took it to them. We're a show on the road. So our next show is at St. Matthias Church this Sunday at 2 o'clock. And tickets can be obtained by coming to the door or going. The following week, on Saturday, the 17th, it is at Berwick in Royal Oak. St. Matthias is in for a benefit for threshold housing for youth, and Berwick is a benefit for the Compassionate Friends, which is an organization for parents who lose their children. We're then going to Vancouver, and if you want to come on February the 1st to the Limoud Conference, you can catch it there.
Wow, lots of opportunities to catch it. And if you want to find out more information how you can get that play to come to you and make it a fundraiser, who should they contact?
They should contact me, Zelda Dean.
Absolutely.
And they can reach me at 881-2094.
Absolutely. We're going to give you another little sneak peek of this incredibly moving, touching production in just a moment. But first, we are going to meet an artist who took a huge risk to do what she loves. We have to take a very short break, but go nowhere. When we come back, more great stories on Go Island and more, one more scene to get you intrigued to come see 17 Stories. Welcome back to Go Island. We are talking about a very important, very moving, but also funny production that's happening right now. It's touring in Victoria. It's called 17 Stories. We're talking to one of the actors. Why did you decide to be part of this production?
Well, I'd been away from acting for about 10 years, and I was offered a chance to do this, and I think it's really beautiful writing. The combination of it being hilarious, like it's really hilarious in places, and then being so moving and so human in some way.
Yeah.
And also the challenge of playing that many characters, right? I play 13 people.
Wowzers. Now, the scene that we're about to show you, can you set it up for us?
Yes. This is a scene called Fluffy the Diva Cat. And it's about a woman who had terrible trouble at work. She was persecuted by somebody at work, which I think has happened to a lot of people.
Happens all the time.
A lot of dysfunction in workplaces. And the solace that she finds in her cat. I went online and I filled out a survey on workplace bullying. She got 20 out of 20. Was I stressed? Yes. My hair started to fall out. I lost 20 pounds. I knew I had to quit when I fantasized about her coming into her office first thing and finding me swinging from the light fixture. But did I do it? No, because that would be cruel to my family, and I'm not cruel. I'm the good guy. And who's going to look after Fluffy the Diva Cat? And the positive spin is that I learned from this, that I will never work that hard for that kind of person ever again. I'm healthy and loving, and although challenged by my circumstances, completely mentally well. I've discovered I'm a good person. Meeting the crazy bully psychopath from hell reaffirms everything I believe in. And I learned this when at night I'd come home to Fluffy the Diva Cat. She let me cry into her fur. We'd cuddle together. Every night I fell asleep to her gentle purrs.
It's interesting that loss is not just losing a loved one, but you know, losing a pet, losing your dignity. Was it interesting to play a role about loss, but not the cliche loss we often think of?
Yeah. Yeah, for example, one of the characters that I played is a writer who, through an accident that she's in, loses her ability to write and really string thoughts together in the way that you would need to. And that, I think, is one of, I know it's probably yours, it's probably mine, the biggest fear is losing the ability to express yourself clearly.
Totally.
Terrifying.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, you know, the losses come thick and furious, and some of them are funny and some of them are awful, but what came home to me from doing the play and working with an amazing director, an amazing cast, is that it's just all around us.
Yeah.
It's just, it's always happening.
Always.
And the only thing that the play did was make me notice more that it's completely a part of life that we lose things all the time.
Oh, I love that. This is such a fabulous opportunity to heal, to have that cathartic experience that only theater can give you. You have to go see this play. Now, one of the things that's cathartic for many people is knitting, and there is a little store in Fairfield called Naughty by Nature, and our very own Meg Cuthbert went there to check it out. Can you guess what kind of wool this sweater is made out of? Italian wool. I love that. I don't know why, but it makes me happy. Now we're going to head to Parksville, where a lifelong dream of a gallery opening up has finally happened. Many people have been talking about the art of hockey this past week. Oh yeah, hockey fever everywhere. And when we come back, James Green will be checking out what's happening with our very own Royals. been such an honor to meet the producer and director of 17 Stories. What a moving, beautiful production. If people want to check this out, just remind everyone of where you'll be and when.
We will be at St. Matthias Church off of Foul Bay this Sunday, January the 11th for a 2 o'clock show. And we will be at Berwick Royal Oak on Saturday the 17th, 1:30 curtain. Tickets are available for both shows. Either call or just show up and we'll save you a ticket.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you have an amazing weekend. We will see you next time.
Women's clothing provided by Tulip Noir. Casual designer fashions. Men's wardrobe by DG Bremner & Co. Menswear and accessories. Hair services provided by Salon J.